Hey, good evening, fam. Good evening. Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday. Um, so today is gonna be about the children. Today it's about the children, and I've done quite a few videos about this before in the past. But today I felt the need to go in today because I just recently had two stories. I have about 3 to 4 stories I want to share with you guys today, but two in particular that made me want to do this video today, right? And the topic is, why don't you have insurance on your children? Why don't you, not only why don't you have insurance on your children, why don't you have significant amount of insurance on your children? Okay. For some reason, a lot of people don't believe in having insurance on children, and I don't know why. Because we have every other insurance on our children. We got health insurance, for the kids. But for some reason, we don't believe in having life insurance on the kids. Okay, I meet people all the time who say, "Yeah, I got life insurance on my children. I got 10,000. They're a rider on my policy. I got 20,000 with Gerber or whatever." Right? And I'm not knocking that. I think a lot of that is based on the information that they knew. I'm willing to bet that even the agent that they're dealing with is not educating them in reference to having a pretty decent size of life insurance on their children. I think most agents are so weak that they are afraid to tell the client that because they believe they're going to lose the sale. Most agents are so uneducated about how having a policy on the kids and a big amount will work for them that they just go in there and make any sale and give the client anything, which is some of the reason why. How you doing? Which is some of the reason why the industry has such a bad rep, because agents just sell you anything. Agents just sell you anything, right? So, I'm in downtown today, and beautiful and lovely as always. Okay, downtown Baltimore, right? So, a lot of agents, most of these agents don't even stick around long enough to really learn the business and be educated about the different type of policies and how the policies work to be able to help families out here. So this is one of the reasons why the industry get like a bad rep. So I want to talk about a few people today, right? The first person I want to talk about is a good friend of mine who I went to school with. And I remember when I was sitting down with her to do her policy, I'll talk to her about, hey, okay, we're done with your policy. Let's go ahead and get the kids some coverage. And, she's foreign, right? And she was like, insurance on my kids, life insurance? No, that's madness. I'm not getting no life insurance on my kids. I'm good with just mine alone. I was okay, no problem. I won't put any pressure. I won't put any pressure on you when it comes to that. No problem, right? I did educate her about it, and she still didn't want to do it. 5 years later, the child had already had the sickle cell trait, and I believe something triggered in her, and she caught her first episode, which put her in a coma for about a month or so. So she had called me asking, she's a mom, she's panicking, she doesn't know what to do, also doesn't have, any money real saved up that God forbid the child does pass away, that she would have covered the funeral expense or anything like that. So she was like, hey Maxwell, what can we do? Can we still do the policy for her? I was like, no, at this moment. And then as I'm calling around providers, they're telling me typically in a situation like that, sickle cell, lupus, and stuff like that, and a person goes into a coma or they had like a seizure or something like that, it's usually very hard to get them covered after that. Okay, so I'm sad to say, but that's that scenario. And why is that important? So I tell people, because people walk around here, oh, my kids, I got $15,000 on my policy, they're a rider, or they got Gerber, and it's 20,000, 25,000. Well, those particular plans don't have living benefits. So when I'm talking about life insurance, I'm literally talking about life insurance with living benefits, not just your regular basic life insurance that most people have nowadays. I'm talking about the life insurance with living benefits, what I'm talking about here. So in that scenario, let's say she did have a life insurance policy with living benefits. Okay, and let's use the number. Let's say it's 250K. Okay, the young lady's in a coma. She can literally access 96% of that money. Okay, and why is that important? Because this young lady, because of going back and forth to the hospital, okay, she had to, lower her hours at work to be able to go tend to the child, which is the loss of income. But if she, and mind you, she has other children too who will depend on her. So with her losing that income, things start to fall apart very quickly. And I'm sharing this story because I know this person personally, right? But if they had the life insurance though, with living benefits, okay, she could have taken that money out, at least $100,000, that could allow her to stay home, and at the same time probably pay for an examiner. Pay for a nurse practitioner to be able to, help her with the child, right? So this is why these plans are important. And on top of that, this is also why it's important to have a significant amount. You're not just getting it, because at the end of the day, most children are going to live a long life. From age 0 on the average to age 85, most children are going to live that long. Okay? But it's in between that time that they're living that I believe most people should be concerned about. We don't know what they're putting in these foods. We don't know why kids are getting cancer in such a rapid pace right now. We have no idea. If you go to most hospital and you go to the children ward, you will see so many sick children in that ward. It's crazy and it's scary. So we obviously don't expect anything like that to happen, to our children. That's not something that we plan for. But again, it's something called life, and we don't control anything about life. We can prepare for it, and that's where life insurance with living benefits makes sense. So that's that young lady right there. Okay. Another one is a client of mine who I was talking to him about getting insurance for the grandchild. I've been talking to him now for the past 5 years. Every time I get a phone and call him, check on him, we do annual reviews, and it kind of putting up with it. He never said no, but kind of like putting it off, right? Then recently, the grandchild has been hospitalized. They've been in hospital for 2 weeks because of breathing issue, right? Thank God the child came out of it. But every time he sent me the picture, the mother is by his side at the hospital, which again, if she's there, she's not working. Okay, bills have to pile up, and things like that. So, that's that person. Then I have another close friend of mine that I went to school with, who, and I believe the daughter had to get a bone marrow transplant, I believe. Now, she has a policy with me, and they was able to trigger the living benefits of that policy. And one thing she told me, she's like, Maxwell, I should have did a $500,000 policy like you told me. The reason why, because she did a $150K policy instead of the $500,000 I told her. And the $500,000 was so cheap, this young lady could have definitely have afforded it. But again, people have this stigma and this superstition about life insurance about kids. In her mind, she was thinking, oh, why would I have such a big amount on my kid? People are not thinking about the whole dynamic. They're thinking about the actual dollar amount, thinking, oh, they benefit from the demise of their children. This is not it. Most children are going to live a long life. As a matter of fact, the bigger the policy you have for your child, the better it is for your child, because that means later on in the future, the child don't need an insurance agent. That child becomes 20 years old, 30 years old, they start to have their own family. You could transfer that policy over to them. They don't need an insurance agent. And that child could be paying $90, $80 for a $500,000 policy, whereas it would probably cost a grown adult, $200, $300, $400 for that same policy. Okay? This is the reason why I say, you should always have these plans for your children. But again, it's not just a plan. Make sure it's a pretty decent amount. In the event that something health-wise happens to the child and you cash out money for the living benefits, there's still a significant amount of money left over. So in my friend's case, when she our policy is $150K, and I believe they cut her a check for like $73,000 or something like that. Well, that leaves roughly about like I believe 80 something thousand that's left, for the policy. Okay, and she's a little upset about that. We actually end up increasing the other two children, but there's nothing we could do about the one who's going through the surgery now. So this is what I mean. But most agents are not well versed enough to explain. As a matter of fact, I personally believe that most agents are weak, because a lot of agents are afraid to tell clients the truth. A lot of agents are afraid to that if they show a client a big number like that, they'll lose the sale right away, and they won't close the same day and make money right away. Well, that's not your job in the first place. Your job in the first place is not to make money right away. Your job is to educate the client, so at least that way they know. And at least that way, God forbid something happens to their family, they'll be okay. Okay? And the money will come. Alright? The other side is too, with these life insurance with living benefits, is you're building generational wealth for your child at a small premium. Okay? Okay? I was talking to a client today who was 57 years old and had no retirement plan. And she wanted to retire at 67. And I have to show her that I believe she makes about $53,000 a year. And I have to show her, you literally got to put away $2,600 a month, because you only have a 12 years horizon before you're in retirement. And she has $0. And then I flipped the number around and showed her, hey, you know what? If you were age 1, right? And for the same amount of policy that you're trying to get, and you want to retire and have a certain dollar amount, okay, that child now is only doing, I believe, $110 a month. So by the time that child becomes 67, that child will have well over $2 million, because that child started 50 years earlier than her. Okay? Is the price you pay for the loss of time. Is the price you pay for the loss of time. And it looked like it's gonna pour out rain out here, guys. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's beautiful out here today. Nice breeze. People are out. The yachts and everything. Okay. So yeah, listen. If you have children, why don't you have life insurance on your kids? Okay. Comment. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear why you don't have life insurance for your children. Even if you just get it just for the coverage of getting coverage, and you're not really too concerned about the wealth building part, or you don't have the funds right now for the wealth building part, you should always get coverage for the child. Let me tell you, this is my last client here. that I'm gonna talk about. She had a policy with me 6, 7 years ago. She let the policy lapse, her policy and the child policy. Then the child, one day the mother woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and she came back, and for some reason, some instinct, motherly instinct, okay, made her check the daughter's room, and the daughter was having a seizure in the middle of the night. That is for sure a motherly instinct, and that's how that daughter was saved. That saved the daughter's life. Okay, and so she called me. She said, "Hey, my daughter has a seizure. You know how our policy lapsed. What can we do?" I'm like, I don't know at this point. But you had a seizure. The daughter had a seizure. I don't know if there's any ways for us to get her policy right now. Okay, so she's a little concerned because they don't know what's going on with her. The doctor's trying to figure it out, and she hope nothing crazy happened. So yeah, how you doing? So yes, and that's something that she's right now saying she regret, and she could have kept the policy. It wasn't even that much, and oh my God, and just listening to her, actually hurt my feelings and made me feel a certain way. Like, I'm one of those agents. I don't force anybody to do anything. If I get a memo, how you doing? Go ahead. If I get a memo saying a client's policy is lapsing, I will give you a call, try to find out what's going on, how can I help, but I'm not gonna force you to. I'm just not that aggressive of an agent to be like, or pushy is the word, not aggressive, pushy of an agent to try to, oh, what's going on with your policy? Why? Nah, I don't, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of us are adults and we're grown people, and I believe that, certain things we should know is very important. And again, I'm not in anybody's pockets. I don't know what they have going on. All I can do is make suggestions. Say, okay, cool. This is what you can do. Try this, try that, and that's about it. Okay, but I kind of in a way wish I would have said, hey, can you at least let's pay 1 month at a time until you catch up, so that way the policy doesn't totally lapse. I probably should have done that. So every day, as I'm hearing these stories as an agent, I'm also growing and learning myself to be a little bit more proactive and more aggressive in trying to help agents, because I'm seeing in real time that these products work. I don't deliver so many, well, I'm not say so many, but quite a few death checks, also living benefits check that I've helped a lot of clients file a claim on. So the product works. The product works, and a lot of people don't really know how important it is until it comes time for them to actually need it. So that's what I want to share with you guys today. So if you're watching this for the first time, and you're watching me for the first time, and you're not subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. If you saw value in what I spoke about today, please like and share with people who you feel as though need to hear this. Everybody should have life insurance on themselves and on their children. Right now, around half, 40% of the people in the country do not have any life insurance. That's including children. Okay, almost half of the people in the United States of America do not have life insurance at all. Okay, and it can devastate the family if they don't have, or something crazy happen and they don't have life insurance, whether a death or whether a illness happen. You understand? I've seen clients get big checks from living benefits. I've delivered a $500,000 check for a client's family who passed away. $500,000. That the parents till today call me and check on me. This is a client of mine that died. Young guy, 25 years old, drowned. Okay? And as I'm saying, life happens. You know, especially like during summertime. So many children drowning during the summertime. Children accident. You know, I'm gonna use my sister for example. My sister, her son, he was outside riding his bike out here in Baltimore, minding his business, and a car hit him. He was bedridden for 2-3 months, and my sister had to work, you know, part-time and take off. It's stressful, okay? Because bills are so high and expensive in America, most people can't afford to be taking off 2-3 months or working half a day for 2 or 3 months. And most people don't have money like that saved up for situations like that. So thank God, you know, he's okay. Thank God, you know, he survived it. You know, he still got his limbs and everything, you know, still a healthy young man. And now we was able to get him coverage. Okay? So, but, you know, it took something like that for my sister to realize that, hey, this is important. This is important. You understand? So yeah, I want to share that with you guys today. And again, if you are listening to this, please comment. Why don't you have insurance on your children? Is it a stigma? Is it some kind of superstition? Okay? Why don't you have insurance on your children? Is it money? Do you think it's expensive? Okay? Why don't you have insurance on your kids? All right? Outside of that, listen, if you guys need my service, please feel free to text me at 443-208-5480. 443-208-5480. You can also email me at evolve@titanevolutiongroup.com or go to my website at titanevolutiongroup.com. Outside of that, listen guys, you guys have a wonderful and blessed Sunday, and I will talk to y'all soon.